and her husband Lane. Coming up in part 2, on their way to a new home in Holland. A happy ending for 2 more Podenco dogs. And tensions flare on the animal front line. What future for these abandoned dogs? Welcome back to Animal Frontline. Shortly I'll be speaking to 2 leading animal welfare campaigners, Tony Moore and Professor Andrew Lindsay, about the treatment of animals in Spain. But first, it's back to frontliners Annelies and Lane Jacobs at Benissa near Alicante. Together they've helped save thousands of abandoned hunting dogs. Slowly but surely, animal welfare is starting to make the headlines in Spain. Following a planning row, this protest was mounted when the closure of another dog sanctuary was announced. Local people decided to make their feelings clear to the Guardia Civil, who were called in to take control of the situation. As a result of the closure, Annelies and Lane agreed to take a further 70 dogs, leaving their own sanctuary close to bursting point. Each day, volunteers like Sarah Marriott arrive to help with the daily workload.
Annelies is a very caring person. She cares for the dogs more than she cares for herself. I've known Annelies to buy food for the dogs and not for herself, and sit and eat maybe almonds or oranges that she's had given to her.
And the abandoned dogs just keep on coming. Each day that we filmed at the Podenco Aid Foundation, further dogs were brought in by local people. Each needs to be vaccinated, examined by a vet, and eventually found a new home.
All the dogs are vaccinated, and especially in Spain, a lot of dogs are not. And so to protect not only him, but also our dogs, they must be vaccinated. That is always very important. Eh, little one, come on, first, in the saloon, come on, okay.
To try and focus attention on the mistreatment of dogs, Annelies is working with other animal campaigners, like photographer Fermin Perez. Fermin, who works for an action group called Scooby, made international headlines when he published a series of haunting pictures of hanged hunting dogs in northwest Spain.
This picture is from a bitch who has had just her litter of puppies. And in this picture, and this one, we can see how the legs are just touching the ground. So the dogs are trying to survive because they have no breath, and they're trying to survive until they cannot do anymore, and so they die. This is the picture of one hand dog just in front of the pet cemetery, and this dog is 50 meters far from the pet cemetery. And this one is very, very special. This is the one dog who was hung in front of 5,000 people, and it was hung in the final of the national championship of hunting in front of 5,000 people, that they don't care anymore about what's going on with the dog. What all these pictures say to me, how the dogs are kept in Spain. There are a lot of difference between among people who use the dogs for hunting. They use the dog only for hunting, and they don't see the dogs like humans. Like living beings. And they use the dogs, and when they don't want the dogs anymore, they kill the dogs.
All over Spain, campaigners are now increasing pressure on local government to enforce animal welfare legislation. Pat Osborne, who runs a greyhound sanctuary in Alicante, says retired racing dogs, just like the Podencos, also face a miserable life when their racing days are over.
The first lot of racing retired track dogs, they came in here, they absolutely stank of bad kenneling. Really, really stank. Half of them had got heartworm, because what we do here is they're all blood tested for leishmaniasis and heartworm. 50% had got heartworm. A lot of them had got these awful, hideous pressure sores on the chest because they're kept in pens 1 metre square with cement floors with no bedding, and they just come out for an hour a day while they're raced. The difference between Spain and England is that in England the laws are applied for animal protection, and in Spain they're not.
This is one thing that is changing, and we do have new laws to protect animals in general and dogs in particular. The problem is that these laws depend on the different autonomic communities that we have in Spain, the different regions of Spain. But nowadays the law has been developed, and it's just a matter of enforcing the law. In Valencia, it's completely obligatory to microchip every dog, at least since last year, or 2 years ago, and that of course helps. The problem is that not every owner will microchip, and we don't have one police after each person.
Kom maar.
If the Podenco Sanctuary had kept every dog to come to them, they would now have more than 7,000. Instead, they've found new homes, as near as the next town and as far away as Holland. Han de Costa works for an animal rescue company based in Amsterdam.
Don't worry, they will get a good start. Our company rescued about 300 dogs to Holland by airplane. For example, one of the dogs we have saved, that's one of my own dogs, that's nice to see. About 16 months ago, we had a very small dog here, 6 weeks old. And as you can see, in Holland, we saved her. Now 16 months old, and she's a very healthy dog. This is one of the dogs we have saved, which is in my home. But we have saved a lot of dogs to other families in Holland, which are very happy to do a thing like this for this idealists in Benissa.
This we know a long time already, and we have bring her up from 2 weeks old. She was found in the garbage, and it is a bit my favorite. But I must say, I know that she have somewhere else a better home.
There's 2 dogs to Alicante Airport. We fly in about 2.5 hours to bring them to Amsterdam in Holland. They will get a new start over there. There was a very sad beginning. You've heard about it, and they will have a new start with 2 happy families who are waiting now already, I suppose.
Put a leash on.
This one? Yes. The other one is having one.
Please, yes. Okay.
Come on.
Come on now.
This is the Galgo. This is a Reno.
Oh, you smell like Spain. Come on. You smell like Spain.
That's the Podenco.
Oh, what a nice puppy you are. She's a nice puppy. You need a towel?
She's beautiful. Only 3.5 weeks old. 3.5 months old. Saved from a garbage container.
A happy ending for 2 more dogs. But back at the sanctuary, a new generation of abandoned dogs face an uncertain future. But what is certain is that without people like Annelies and Lane Jacobs working on the animal front line, many of these dogs would be dead.
Well, sometimes I think you must be crazy. There must be something wrong with you, but wrong in a good way. Because these people are working very hard, all for the dogs. And I think it's very hard to find people like Annelies and Lane, and to find people who are the supports.
And we like the life, because we are happy when a dog has to put home, and people, they pick him up. And a bad dog, so this, that he comes in and he's very skin and ill, and now he's healthy and happy here to be here. And that's a nice life.
We have never planned it, but the dogs came over our way, and I must say in the 9 years we have never regret 1 second.
You wouldn't change one thing?
No, we will, I think we will do it till we cannot do it anymore.
Frontliners Annelies and Lane Jacobs